Hi, I'm Jen. I've spent the past 15 years helping companies improve their efficiency and profits. Today, we're looking at how creating business processes can simplify your business and make sure that no matter who does the work, it's all up to the same standard. One major hurdle for small businesses that are looking to grow is finding employees that are going to deliver the same high standard that the business owner does. It can feel like no one else can provide the same level of service to your customers as what you do, or that no one else will quite do things exactly the way that you want them done. While there may be a learning curve, setting up business processes goes a long way to making sure that no matter who does the work, it turns out the same. Here are 3 practical steps to creating business processes. First, we're going to pick a place to start. Choose something fairly routine to create your first business process. Don't start with the most complicated thing that you want someone to do. Start with something simple. For instance, let's say that you frequently take customer calls. You could create a business process telling someone how you want this to happen, so you could hand this process off to someone else. The second step is to write out the key steps. Now that you've found a place to start, write down the main steps that need to take place to complete this process. Here you want to focus on the main steps that would happen the majority of the time. Don't worry about detailing every special scenario that might come up. So in that example of taking calls, here's what this step would look like. Write down what you want someone to say when they answer the phone. What type of greeting do you want them to give the customer or the person that's calling? Create a list of the most common reasons that people would call. How can you respond to these common reasons? Again, don't think of every single reason, but probably in 4 or 5 items, you could list what the majority of your calls are about. Now that you have your list of the reasons people would call, how do you want someone to respond to each of these? In some cases, the answer may be simple. Maybe they just need to give your business hours. In other cases, you may want them to refer the caller to someone else in the business or schedule an appointment. If someone calls about something that's not on that list, what do you want the person answering the call to do? Should they refer it to someone else, make a note, and call them back? This is an important step that becomes a catch-all for things that we don't already define. Step 3 of creating business processes is to use and refine them. Now it's time to put that process that you just created into practice. Try following it yourself. Here you'll look for a few key things. What steps weren't as clear as what you thought? Clarify them. What topics came up that you haven't covered? If they came up repeatedly, add them to the frequently asked questions list or add them into your process. If something came up one time though, you might not need to make a note of it. Treat your business processes as living documents. Don't create processes just for the sake of processes. The whole reason for creating these processes is to have a standard way of working. They should enable people to do their job better or in a more harmonized way so that customers have the same experience no matter who within your organization that they're working with. It also sets the internal expectations at a good level. Your employees know what you expect from them, and others within the team know how each person is working when it comes to different common topics. I highly recommend that you store these documents in a place that are easily accessible by everyone that may need them, and not in a method that typically would require printing. By having these documents in a central location that everyone can access, it also means that as you make updates to them, everyone always has the latest version. If you're dealing with printed or emailed copies frequently, it's easy for these to get out of date and have people working from multiple different references instead of that same common latest version. As you share these processes with others in your team, you probably will find that you'll need to make other adjustments to the document. When you've written the processes, you're typically doing it through the lens of someone that's already doing the work. So there may be certain assumptions that you make or things that you think are clear that just aren't as clear when you hand them off. That's fine. That's exactly what these processes should be. That living document that you continue to update and refine as need be. Business processes can certainly get much more complicated complicated than this. There's many more advanced ways of documenting them, of organizing them, and sharing them within the organization. But as a starting point, if you haven't built business processes before, this foundation will get you thinking in a more standardized and strategic way about how you document the work that you're doing. And they'll get people on the same page with delivering the same value, the same experience, regardless of who's doing the work. It's much more beneficial to take an imperfect step than to wait until you have everything perfect in a way that often means that it's not super practical to use in day-to-day work. If you're looking for help to streamline your business and leverage your data, check out the link in the description box to contact me. Thanks so much for watching.